and welcome to Now You Novi, a little bit different of an episode for us today. We got a newcomer in the hot seat. It's a totally different seat for you. You're on camera.
I am, yeah. I'm usually the wizard behind the scenes, but yeah, this is not the first time I've been on camera, but the first time in a long time, so.
First time on the podcast.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
You're typically working the magic.
I am what they call the young Jamie behind the scenes. Some people might get that reference.
I don't.
Yeah, it's okay. But I'm the guy who controls the board usually. But we have someone else doing that today. Trevor's doing that. So.
That's awesome. So for those that might not know you, Josh Buscher is our senior video production specialist.
Yep, you got it right. Yep.
Okay, senior video production specialist. And he is on today, to talk about the amazing work he does here on our podcast and for all of the viewers now. But I say that because we weren't, up until a couple episodes ago, we were just audio, right?
Yeah, we've had about 3 episodes. This will be number 4 of live video recording capabilities. We've always done recordings, but they were kind of in the council chambers, and it was, it wasn't the best in terms of presentation and looks and feels. So we got the new studio, of course, as you can see. And now we're excited to use it and make everyone look good. So
that's what brought us here, right? Not only because they want to see me with this. I got to figure out my hair.
I mean, we can get you some new headphones. Like I know it's not your style.
Something's got to go. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, what we really want to show off is the studio. So that's why I had you come on, because Victor and I have alluded to a couple of times on the podcast. We're in this great new, sexy, very expensive toy box, if you would, sandbox, as you call it.
It's because I kick sand in here all the time.
There you go. There you go. But I thought it was important to come on and maybe let the listeners, the viewers, know a few things. A, it wasn't paid for with taxpayer dollars.
Correct.
It didn't come out of the general fund. And B, to maybe give them a little glimpse of behind the scenes, what it looks like and what our intentions are of using the studio. So you want to talk a little bit, or can you share a little bit about the funding of the studio?
Definitely. So we are a PEG channel, Public Education and Government. So for a long time, we've been operating as that. This goes back to the 70s, 80s, if you want to even call it that.
That's correct. Yep.
If you want to bring up ancient history, Southwest Oakland County Cable Commission, the Tri-County areas of Farmington Hills, and Novi. Before that, it was all public access government, which usually meant just broadcasting council meetings, talking head shows, whatever you want to call it back in the day. And that was funded through what are called PEG fees. So the city owns land that they lease out to cable companies for the right-of-way, for their use of the spaces to run their lines. So
that's correct.
When people come to the city, our favorite cable providers in the city all pay fees, or they charge the users fees, which is like 5% capped or something like that. But that all depends on different laws in different areas. But that 5% of your cable costs, so to speak, or whatever it is, goes to the city via PEG funds. So for a long time, up until about 2019, when they changed the federal law, my salary and part of your salary was getting paid through PEG funds. We were allowed to draw our salaries, and in return, we would broadcast things like city council meetings, other things in the city that we needed to communicate to residents. But that all changed in 2019. I want to say it was the FCC that changed the law that said we can no longer draw salary through that fund. It had to go into what they call capital expenditures. So capital expenditures is mostly just equipment. Like, there's very few other things that we can sort of apply that fund to. So therefore, in 2019, then the leadership through Mayor Gatt and the old city manager Pete Auger decided we would still be getting paid through the general fund instead as staff salary, but the PEG fund just kept growing, so to speak.
That is true.
So
to the excess of about nearly $2 million, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. And you know what? To piggyback on what you said, because you gave a great explanation of the PEG fee, the history, and how we get those funds. If you have Charter Spectrum, if you have AT&T Uverse, whatever service you use, I kind of liken it to when you go to a hotel and they show that it's $169 a night, and you get your bill and it's like $200 and some dollars, and you're like, what? It was
Where are all
100,
these fees? Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like that hotel or bed tax that cities collect. You are correct. The FCC, and through our intergovernmental agreements with these entities, there is right on your bill, if you use one of those services, $10, $15, $18 every time you pay that goes into PEG, public education and government fees.
And we're not the only PEG entity. That goes to schools, that goes to plenty of other entities. We're just part of that fee.
That is correct. So the city then has recouped, and we receive, let's say, roughly $300,000 a year, a little less, maybe $275,000. And it is restricted funds. So those come into the city. They can't just go into the general pool of money, and we can't use it to get a new roof at City Hall or pay for a police car or whatever the case might be. They are restricted for video services. And those are capital video service items. So hence we have this amazing new studio.
It is amazing, isn't it?
It is so crazy to think that we just conceptualized this last year. Trevor, is there an opportunity like to pan around? Because we're sitting at, I like to call like the sports center desk, like right here.
It is the desk, yeah. We
The
also have a
desk.
couch. We haven't debuted the couch yet.
We haven't debuted the
but
couch
the couch
yet.
does exist, and we can have a more casual, sort of relaxed feel to the podcast, if you will.
So, I don't know if Trevor can pan and show a little bit about the studio. We have a weather video board where we could actually stand up next to it and be able to show. There he's panning a little bit, so you can see the amazing set. This was a giant closet.
It was.
We affectionately called it the dungeon.
It was the dungeon, and what was stored in the dungeon was mostly clerk stuff, election stuff, or anything that we had, banners, miscellaneous stuff. And we had before and after photos that I just sent out, and going from that space to this is sort of hard to fathom.
So prior to this, we were using another closet, but more of a walk-in closet of someone's house as a studio for just stand-up work, right? We'd put someone in front of a green screen. We do our election videos there, etc.
And photography. Don't forget photography. That was probably the most what was shot in there. All the headshots you see here at the Civic Center.
That's true. Photography. So to be able to evolve this space into something so meaningful and useful and expand our communication offerings is just mind-blowing to me, right? So we had this pool of funds and we were able to capitalize on it. And I don't know of any other city that has a studio like this, the set designs, etc. The pressure is on though now.
Yeah,
right. The pressure's on. Do you feel it?
Pressure makes diamonds. So
okay,
yeah.
That's good. I feel like sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, when are we going to use the studio? Like, let's get moving. And I know we need a plan. It literally just was finished within the last couple of weeks, but I think the important thing for the community to know is this means expanded communication.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
There is, I was just talking in a meeting with our city manager and assistant city manager this morning that every department has a story to tell. And I think whether that be through the engaged publication, through a written story, through social media, through video, there's opportunities, assessing community development, police, fire, parks. I mean, everybody has a story. And being able to have this studio as a central hub just creates amazing opportunity.
Yeah, I sort of think of my role here as a megaphone, essentially. So my job is to broadcast the signal and to get rid of the noise to get to the residents, you guys, the viewers at home. Because those are the people that need to know what we're doing. If you don't want to talk about transparent government, if you want to talk about knowing where your tax money is going, how the city operates and works, I need to do my job and tell those stories to you so you understand and can feel what we're trying to tell people. Because we're all people here at the government too. It's not like the big bad government's out here. No, we're all humans and we all have emotions and we all want to do our best and serve the community because that's the nature of public service.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is your biggest challenge, other than me?
That's not fair. No. You can't say that your boss is your biggest challenge, because that's not fair. No.
What do you think is your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge, I think, is scale. So yes, we have a new studio. We spent a lot of money, and we're very fortunate in Novi to have those funds available to us. And I'm personally very fortunate to be able to kind of oversee and kind of use the studio day by day. But the biggest challenge is scaling it up. So now that we have this, we're starting with small things, if you will, the podcast. I'm not trying to call the podcast a small thing, but after the gavel, the podcast, other things that we shoot in here is some internal stuff that we have for employees only. But it's scaling up. So we start with the baby steps and getting the ball rolling, and then transforming and moving into bigger shows, getting more efficient, getting staff trained, all that sort of stuff, and adapting to the space. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is to scale it all up and, like I said, be the broadcast megaphone, be the one who amplifies it, and amplifies it to the right people in the right way.
Mayor Fisher wants to start a show.
Yeah, he's going to start a show. It's on my calendar, so it's happening. Yeah,
it's happening. We are going to resurrect Update Novi, and new format, but same thing. You hit on a few things. I think one thing we, as a team, as a city, should be extremely proud of is the transparency we provide, right?
Yes, that's the goal.
That is the ultimate goal, always is the goal. Bad things happen. We screw up, whatever the case. We miss communicating something. Something.
Yeah, my road's not fixed. Why isn't it fixed?
Okay, that's a big one.
Know?
But, we talked about it in a comms meeting the other day. It's not like we sit here and go, ooh, let's not tell.
Yeah.
And because we want 50 people to call our office or email, whatever. There's so many opportunities and so many things to share.
There's a lot going on in the city at all times.
At all times,
I don't think people
right?
understand what your job is, especially in having to know everything, and not only know it, but make sure the information gets to the right people. And always, it never ends. It's never like you go home and shut your laptop off at 5 or 6 and it's done. No, it doesn't work like that.
I know. You guys keep saying I will stop sending
That's not
the
what I'm
5
talking
a.m.
about. I'm
Okay.
saying that's your job, is to respond to that time. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
But I'm really proud of the work that we do from I'm going to expand it, not even video, but multimedia, right? Because we used to, you kind of glossed over like the old shows, like
Sure.
the talking heads. But the format used to be, hey, let's come in, let's sit on a chair or a sofa, let's talk about a subject matter, and then we put it out. And we hoped that somebody was either going to pick it up on Channel 13, on then Bright House, before that Time Warner, right?
Yeah, they merged a couple times,
right?
I think. Yeah.
So, and then AT&T came on the
my parents live in Novi. They have AT&T, so I grew up with AT&T. Yeah.
So the chief and I still have AT&T.
Yeah.
But so we kind of moved away from those, right? So people that are watching, finding Channel 13 on Charter Spectrum
213 now.
213
or 99 if you're on AT&T.
Or 99.
Yeah, no one's gonna go to their public education government channels. They're gonna go put on whatever they want to watch. There's big news shows,
right?
Because
Because
like that.
Well, you used to. Where my whole point was you used to be limited.
Yeah.
You had 247, Channel
You had
50,
60
Channel
channels,
20, right? And,
so to speak.
And you'd flip through them.
Yeah. Just channel surfing. Yeah.
And then you
that.
That's right. You channel surf. Good call. And you'd land upon a city council meeting or something, and which we still do, stream and push to those channels. But I hesitate just to say video, because what you all do, we're doing a podcast here. People might be listening to it on Spotify on their way into work, or they're not watching. But the way that we deliver the message has gone from a 30-minute, because when you started, if you think about it, we were programming in 30-minute blocks, because that's how people generally watch TV. Well, now you can sit down at Netflix at, 8:15 and start something at 8:20.
Watch a whole series and then, wake up at 4 a.m.
Exactly,
or go to work.
right?
Yeah, it's great.
So the way we deliver video content and our messages has evolved. So I am so proud of the work that you, Trevor, and soon to be Ronan.
I don't think you can officially name drop him until he starts, but yes, we are.
Well, he's on the team. I talked to him yesterday,
Okay.
so he's coming, whether he wants to or not. Although I am a little
He's getting
skeptical.
married, I heard.
He is getting married, but you know what? I am a little skeptical because I invited him today, and he said he'd come, and then he called back and canceled. So it made me a little nervous. Like maybe he
That's what
doesn't
I'm
want
saying.
me
I
to.
don't-
Yeah, okay.
Until he's here, until I get
Ronan,
to
if
shake his
you're
hand.
listening,
Congrats.
congrats, and we look forward to seeing you very
Yes.
soon.
Please come soon.
Yes. Anything you want to share? I have one final thought, and it kind of delves from this, but any final things you want to say?
I'm very fortunate, I guess. I've always thought of myself as a native son of Novi, the city where I grew up and went to school, Novi High School. And going to school there, they provided me with options to get into broadcasting and learn stuff, and we were very good. So I feel that Novi has always provided opportunities for people like me, and I feel very lucky that not only did I have those opportunities then, but I'm continuing to get opportunities for the city, and I'm trying to get back. So that's my sort of role and why I'm here and why I still want to be here is because it's my hometown. So without all that and without your current support and the city's support, I don't think any of this exists, or I don't think the message gets out to the people that need to see it. So that's all I'm just trying to express my gratitude. I know there's a lot of money spent on the studio and people are expecting to see things, and there's a lot of pressure, as you said, but I don't really pressure is fine to me. It's just outside noise, we're still going to do what we're going to do, and we're going to try to do things the right way. So that's all I want to take away from this. If you're listening, thank you. I do appreciate this. I have a lot of gratitude towards everybody here, but I'm just trying to get back.
That's a great way. You know what? I'm not even going to say what I was going to say because it'll muddle it all up. That was.
You're just going to not talk about that second thing you're going to ask me?
You know what? I don't think I am because it'll muddle all the goodness up. Should I say it or no?
I mean, if you want to.
Do you know what the number one question we get about video and cable services is?
What channel are we on?
No. Why aren't there more options?
Yeah.
So cable providers, people I think get frustrated, and I wanted to use this opportunity while we were talking about video services and platforms that the city's passed a resolution inviting, we'd love, what is it,
Yes.
WOW or
Please, I have WOW at home and where I live, and it's great. I love it.
So WOW, Comcast, we would love for there to be more options, but I think what it is, well, I know what it is, it's the ROI. When you have someone like WOW that wants to come into Novi, that 90% of the market share is already using Spectrum or AT&T, how much of that are they really going to capture? Because it's multi-million dollars worth of investment to lay the fiber or cable or whatever.
It's a lot of money. I can't even imagine trying to build an infrastructure like that. You
Right?
talk about electricity, cable, internet. It's all lines and wires that you see buried or in the sky, preferably buried, so that way your power doesn't go out when we have our southeast Michigan storms that we have. But we would try to invite people. We get calls all the time. Why aren't there more options? We even formed a committee, the Municipal Broadband Committee, that was supposed to research all this and come back with a recommendation. From what I understand, the committee's sort of on pause, where either there wasn't enough support or people were just like, meh, I have internet.
Well, you can, it's the old, I'm going to complain. And I'll tell you, the Malloys are guilty of this. My goodness, we hate spending these hundreds of dollars a month. But at the end of the day, we don't move off the dime.
No.
What are we going to do? Go to Spectrum and then have the same thing a year from now, right?
It's a generational thing too. So like my parents, they need to have their TV. I didn't say anything about your generation. I went straight to my
Your
parents.
mom and I went to school
That's
together.
That's true. Okay. But what I'm saying is, so your generation, I guess, from my understanding, likes to watch TV. They have their TV packages. They want to watch all their sports and entertainment and watch everything the more traditional way. My generation, I don't have a cable package. I have an internet package. So I stream. That's what I do. I get all my subscription services on different platforms and sort of mix it all together. And that's why we have to keep changing. We can't just go broadcast on channel 213
Correct.
or, social media. It all has to be new and transformative.
So that's what is a roundabout way I wanted people to know that if they don't have one of those options or those TV services, cityofnovi.org.
Yes, we love pitching the website. Everything city related can be found on cityofnovi.org. It's your one-stop shop for everything Novi.
Yep.
Go there.
And we also have a YouTube channel, right?
So YouTube is big too. Yeah.
But they can get there from cityofnovi.org.
Correct.
You can connect with us.
It's
there.
the main hub. So everything that you want. If you click on the little Studio 6 icon on the top, you can see all the videos, all the council meetings that we show. Yep. Everything's on the website. Yes, it directs to things like YouTube or Vimeo or whatever, but they're just the same way as trying to centralize it to people. So if you don't even have a cable package, you don't have a TV at home.
That's where I was going.
You could go to the library. You can pull it up on your phone. You can find it a million different ways, and you can watch it. We're trying to get more into the real territory because they found that's what people are watching nowadays. Think about your viewing habits at home. Like, are you going to go home and watch like a YouTube video on your phone? Are you going to turn your phone sideways, or are you just going to hold it up and scroll? Because that's where I think people are going. That's what I find myself doing unconsciously sometimes. So yeah, we're trying to transform. We're trying to get to you to tell you things you need to know to make your life easier and keep you in the loop, so to speak.
There you go. Well, thanks again. You led this project. It's amazing. To our partners at Creative Dimensions who designed it, and Key Code who installed the equipment, to our support from colleagues, information services technology.
What are you talking about?
They supported us through this process.
All right,
I just wanted to give that's it.
Yeah, there you
Integrated Solutions team.
Love you guys.
Yeah, we do. I don't know your name, but I love you. But they were instrumental in coordinating and helping us create this. So
yeah, there were a lot of moving parts, and it's a lot to come together. And various different things happen in terms of supply chain and the times that we're living in nowadays. But it's done, it's ready. The studio is always going to keep evolving in small ways to try to adapt, but the sandbox is very nice and very new, and we're ready for the future. At least I think we're ready for the future.
That we're going to have the superhero showcase on June 6th, which is an opportunity for the community to come out, and we pull back the curtain, and department heads, everybody is there to answer questions and talk to the residents. We got to figure out a way to use this in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Like, if we're going to have it here at the Civic Center, you might as well come and see the studio. Yeah.
Or do something. So it's an opportunity for you to come and take a sneak peek at the studio. So
do I have to wear a cape?
And we're not doing capes this year.
Oh, wow.
I know. We've done them 2 years. No, I don't think those are going to happen either.
It's not very superhero-ish.
No, I don't remember. Jeanette and I talked yesterday. I don't remember what it's going to be, but yeah, maybe tote bags. I don't know. Superhero tote bags.
Tote bags?
I don't know. I know. Doubles as a parachute. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't jump off a cliff with a tote bag.
I know, right? I know. But thanks again. And you're going to help me say sayonara on this one?
Sure, yeah.
Now you
Novi.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.